Good evening. This is Karen Hudis. I'm a lawyer who has worked in the World Bank Legal Department for 21 years and has been entrusted by the Bretton Woods institutions, that's 188 ministers of finance, in making sure that their role in something called the Global Debt Facility, which is assets that were put into trust at the end of World War II for 50 years, in order to make sure that these assets will go to the benefit of humanity. And I'm going to discuss now how this is going to take place, because it's essential that this gold is used to replace the paper currencies that are they're very unstable. We heard on December 1st, Chris Powell, who is with the Gold Antitrust Action Committee. Chris Powell stated how the price of gold has been deliberately manipulated by the central banks. These are private banks. They are part of something called the Network of Global Corporate Control that the Federal Institute of Technology has, they've disclosed how this group has secretly bought up the media and has been censoring the news that people receive, and they've been manipulating governments. This lawlessness is over. There is a coalition for the rule of law that is now taking back the monetary system, which should not be controlled by the Bank for International Settlements anymore. And the way this is going to happen, there are monetary agreements which will allocate gold to all of the countries of the world, and this gold is going to be used to create something called Aurum, which is a way of creating currency with the gold actually contained in the currency. And that is going to happen very soon, because paper currencies are no longer stable, and in particular the Federal Reserve note is it's got to be replaced by Aurum from the Global Debt Facility. In July, the United States-Japan Joint Committee under the Status of Forces Agreement, together with the County Executives of America, accepted the delivery of this gold for creation of Aurum, and we have got to implement this. So far, the Network of Global Corporate Control has not been cooperating, but this is going to be over very soon. On the 10th of June, I met with a member of the Japan Diet, that is Yukihisa Fujita, and he is now on the Committee of Defense in Japan's Senate, that's the House of Councilors, and he's also a member of the Committee on Foreign Affairs. He was the Vice Minister of Finance, and we discussed how essential it is that the United States military retain their strength, that we will not allow the Federal Reserve note to crash, that we will replace the this paper currency, which has no longer been backed by dollars since 1971, that this paper currency is going to be replaced. First, it's going to be replaced with dollars from the Treasury Department that were printed by Ronald Reagan after he commissioned a study, the Grace Commission, which showed that the income taxes that American citizens pay were going to the Federal Reserve, just about 100% of them. And there's no reason for this. There should be no interest charged on currency. As a matter of fact, the Bank for International Settlements issued gold certificates back in the 30s. They're called Treaty of Versailles bonds, and these bonds have been accruing interest. The bonds are issued in exchange for gold that is now in the Global Debt Facility. With the compounded interest, these gold certificates, which are owned by the Global Debt Facility, are in the quadrillions of dollars. So this debt, the Bank for International Settlement, is insolvent, and this debt is going to be offset against country debt. So we are no longer going to be paying interest on our currency. This is a scam, and this will end immediately in an orderly fashion. I'm making this statement on the eve of an extraordinary appointment because Chuck Hagel, who was the Secretary of Defense, I discussed a power transition model with Chuck Hagel in 2008 when he was still Senator for Nebraska. This power transition model is very accurate. It came from the Department of Defense. It was developed by Jacek Kugler, a political scientist, and this model shows that the United States, together with the rest of the world, is prepared to accept the rule of law and no longer have this terrible situation of state capture by the banking cartel. I will end this video because this is now my second attempt. The first video was erased without my permission, so I'll see if I can upload this and put this out. It's quite essential that all of the countries whom I have communicated with about their accepting the gold from the global debt facility to replace their paper currencies, that this take place as soon as possible, because we will not allow the Bank for International Settlement to destabilize the entire world with an engineered crash of currencies. This is not going to happen. As a matter of fact, the power transition model is on track, and it is predicting with 90 to 95% likelihood that the Secretary of the Army, who's responsible for, that's John McHugh, who's responsible for monetary policy, because the United States has been under a military rule that has been extended by the U.S. Congress. Congress didn't bother to tell the American people that we were not under civilian rule. We're taking back our civilian rule, and the ORM will be minted to replace the Federal Reserve notes. We've already had the gold in the global debt facility accepted by the county executives of America. This was done back in July, together with the Joint Committee of Japan and U.S. under the Status of Forces Agreement, because Japan is not going to rely on the United States for its security if the United States is bankrupted by the Federal Reserve notes. So this is a transition away from the lawlessness of the Bank for International Settlements. The Bank for International Settlements is insolvent. It issued bonds in exchange for gold, and these bonds have been accruing interest. They're now in the quadrillions of dollars, and they're going to have to make good on this debt. And we're going to offset this against the country debt. So thank you very much, and I look forward to working with each and every country in taking back our world for the rule of law. Thank you.